Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeon now that I've finished watching it. And I'm really sad that I haven't finished watching it until now because I really do love this show. It's honestly like a 10 out of 10 for me. I would say the only minor flaw I have with it is that sometimes the fights can feel a little bit too goofy, but honestly, I feel like that's better than the alternative, which is to be way too damn serious and for everything to work out automatically. Because what I really love about this show a lot compared to basically almost any other shonen I've watched is that the mistakes happen, is that things don't go as they exactly planned, and they have to actually improvise with just random shit they have lying around and tools and random spells that they can conjure up in time to just make things work. And I really, really love that sort of hodgepodge sort of plan that somehow works vibe that a lot of this show gives off. And also just the comedy is really, really good. I think they nail it basically almost every time. It's really deadpan. It's really, the characters making just a funny reaction, but I think it really works and it feels grounded. It feels like it's actually real, like an actual person would be making that reaction because of something, goofy another character did. And I also just, again, really love the character dynamics between Marcel, Leos, or that's not how you pronounce his fucking name, Chilchuck, and the whole band, the main five. I really, really love their dynamic. Each of them has their own character traits and they stick to it. And that's what I really, really like. I like a show that is simple, that has character traits that you can easily latch on to characters with, but have dynamics to them that actually jump off each other, that have, ways to interact with each other that doesn't feel forced. And this show does a great job of that. But I also really love the world building in the show. It really does a good job, especially earlier in the show, just developing this huge, huge fantasy world that is really beautiful because of Studio Trigger's phenomenal animation. I cannot give enough praise for the animation team here. It is truly stellar to look at everything. And also the food. Holy shit, the food looks good, even when it's made out of the most gross fucking dragon or creature you can think of. It still just looks really, really good to the point where it actually inspires me to cook. Even though I'm not a cook by any means, it inspires me to make some food because it just looks that damn good. It really, really looks stellar, but also just generally, again, like the environments. And as they go deeper into the dungeon, all these different atmospheres, all these different levels and, worlds basically open up. And it's really, really cool. And again, I just really like the vibe this show brings. It's just very fun, very dynamic. It has a lot of different characters, but they all work and feel grounded and feel like they're actually real and, not like they're actually in a fantasy world like it is in the show. So again, it feels really, really nice. And I also really like the overall like message of the show, which, there's a lot of different messages in the show, but I feel like one of the main ones is to just keep persevering, honestly. Just, keep fucking pushing even when things start to get dire, even when your life is at risk. Sometimes you just have to push forward and not be a coward and just do things for your friends and just build your own character. And I really, really like that. Maybe that was like maybe a misjudged sort of thing to take away from the show. I'm not exactly sure, but still, either way, again, the message that the show is trying to, accomplish and, or, bring across and just overall, again, the animation, the dynamics between each and every character is just stellar. Everything about this show is basically stellar from front to back. Again, the only really slight nitpick I have is that sometimes the fights can get maybe a little bit too goofy and not a little bit serious enough. But again, that's a very, very minor nitpick. And again, I really do also like the aspect of the show where it just feels like the characters are improvising when things don't work in their favor, and they do. And I really, really like that because, again, a lot of shonen shows just feel like, the main character has this perfect plan and it always works. And even when it doesn't, they have this like backup plan and, they have this super secret ability that they just show off all of a sudden. And then, that's it. In this show, it kind of does that, but it doesn't really do it in this show-offy fashion. It feels like, they have to resort to it. It's their only option. And I really, really love that. I also really like the dramaticism of the whole show. It just feels really dramatic in tone, but I really like how it balances between that and comedy. And I haven't really talked about the comedy enough, honestly. It's really, really good. It's pretty deadpan, honestly. It's like, most of the time it's just a character says something funny or does something funny, and then you see your character's reaction to it. But I really like that. It works. It's very funny. Again, seeing all these, it's because all these characters work so well together and bounce off of each other so well, and just the dynamic is what makes the comedy work so damn well, and just each of their character traits just staying in their own lane while still building character as time goes on, because they reveal more stuff about them later on as the show goes on and grow as people while also making the show grow. Because I like that it actually withholds a lot of the information about these characters, about like our main group, until like the last few episodes of the show, because it feels like it's earned. It feels like, it's not like a lot of shows where it just gives you the exposition dump right off the bat. In this show, you have to actually like earn it. You have to keep watching. You have to see the world building. You have to see all these different characters and the struggles they go through, and the, improvising and all that, and the way they bounce off each other. And then you get to learn about the actual characters, and it feels earned. Again, it feels really grounded, and it feels like they actually want to reveal their own information at that time because it feels like it's the right time to do, and not because, a fucking plot device shows up and says, hey, reveal this information, please. Like, it just feels really, really good. I'm not sure if that really made sense, but I tried to make it make sense in my dumb brain. So, yeah, that is basically it. Again, I recommend this show to basically anybody, especially people that love anime and fantasy anime. And again, it doesn't feel generic like at all. The comedy is very, very deadpan, and again, very reaction based, but it works very well. And I've found myself like chuckling and snorting a little bit at some points because of how good it is. And I can very rarely say that for a lot of other shows that try to accomplish the same thing. And just overall, it's just a very fun time with some stellar animation work by Studio Trigger, and just overall a phenomenal show. And I'm really hyped for season 2, where they start to flesh out characters even more and just overall build the world more, because I love the world and the show. It's just so damn well built, and all these different characters interacting and just playing off of each other again. Just, it's really, really good. So yeah, enough gushing about the show. That is going to be it, and I will see you guys later. Again, highly recommend this show. Goodbye.